Hey all, Duranosaur here again. After my last video talking about the state of PvE in vanilla, I've decided to make two videos about PvE events. This first video is going to go over events for the non-hardcore crowd. These could be adapted for RP events, or they could just be a unique way to approach raids each week for guilds looking to add a twist to their raids. I'm already working on a video for PvE events for the competitive PvE scene, so if you're not at all interested in more casual PvE events or ideas that might impact the efficiency of gearing up your guild, please know that I'm not advocating for more casual or competitive play. I'm just exploring all potential community events that I can. So PvE events. My big idea for PvE events for the non-competitive or non-hardcore scene, however you want to describe them, is very similar to my World PvP Objectives idea. If you aren't familiar with that idea, you can check out that video on my channel, but I'm also going to go in depth here. The idea is basically that using social media, probably Twitter, someone, whether that's me or someone else, some other content creator, a Twitch personality, whatever it is, could tweet out PvE objectives. This would probably happen on a regular basis. My thought is that it would come out on a raid reset day and you would have the following week to accomplish the objective. I have a few ideas already, but this is something that as the community hopefully gets excited about the idea, everyone would be able to contribute their ideas and we would then be able to choose from a larger pool and get the best idea possible. So here are a few of my ideas. Have a feral druid main tank X raid. So whatever that raid is, you have to have a feral druid main tank it. You have to bring one of each spec of a certain class to the raid. So druids, shamans, and paladins stand out, where you have to have at least one of each of their spec there playing that role in the raid. You need to evasion tank a certain boss in a certain raid. So have a rogue tank a specific boss in a specific raid. No caster DPS for X raid. No physical DPS for X raid. And then you can limit a certain class to a raid. So maybe you say for this week no warriors can be brought to MC. So then that opens up a lot of possibilities about who is going to tank the raid and how are DPS groups going to be formed and things like that. You can also pick a class like Hunters, which then means you have no trank shot. So how are you going to deal with bosses like Magmadar and Chromagus and things like that? You could set a rule where you can only use healers of one class in a particular raid. So you can only have Druid healers, you can only have Paladin or Shaman healers, or you can only have Druid healers for that particular raid for that week. A class can only be one spec, so maybe you say you can bring priests, but they're all shadow spec that week. And the last one I had is closer to a more competitive, I think, idea, but the gist of it is the objective is to complete X raid or dungeon with X number of people in the group. So for 5-man dungeons, maybe it's you have to complete it with 3 or 4 people. For Ubers, in particular, as a 10-man, maybe you have to do it with 5 people. For 40-mans, the set number could be 25 or 30, and for 20-mans, it could be 10 or 15. An important thing to note is that these objectives could be worded to fit into an RP narrative with reasons for each objective each week, so that instead of it just being an added difficulty or just an objective, there's a background story that accompanies each objective that RP guilds can then run with and create their own narrative behind it. For those who aren't interested in the RP element but like the idea of having these added objectives, there could be a leaderboard similar to the World PvP Objectives leaderboard that tracks how many of the objectives were accomplished by each guild. This gives a slight competitive element to this idea, but because the objectives will inevitably affect raid clear times and raid composition, I don't think the hardcore guilds are going to participate that much. So this is more for casual guilds looking for a way to spice up their raids and get different classes and raid compositions involved. I really want to create PvE events that appeal to all audiences, and I know not everyone is going to like every event, but I'd like to come with enough ideas that everyone hears something that they like and hopefully lets me know so I can put more thought and effort into it. So if you've heard something you like in this video or in any of my other videos, or it inspired an idea for something, let me know. That way I can work on it. If you have suggestions for ways to make this idea or better, or if you hate it altogether, you can also let me know that. But keep in mind that I'm working on more competitive PvE events for the next video that does encourage, among other things, more ideas for uses of dungeons and potentially more competitions within the raiding environment. As always, if you want information or want to communicate with me more, you can follow me on Twitter at Duranosaur24, and be sure to subscribe on YouTube for updates when my videos get uploaded. Thanks for watching.